In layman's terms, AI, like you said, is everywhere now. And we are so scared of what we don't know, and because 90% of us don't understand AI, we're scared of it. But what we're saying is, whether we like it or not, these students are going to be out there in the industry.
Script in the afternoon here. If you are just joining me, you're in luck. It's time for your fave, your tech takeover in Megabyte. Now, the Namibian University of Science and Technology is hosting its annual Namibia National Cybersecurity Pre-Competition 2023 Digital Forensics and Information Security Research Cluster under the theme Cybersecurity in the Era of the AI Revolution. Now, AI has been the talk of the town. You switch on any social media, AI is there. If you've been confused by something on the gram, on Twitter, it's possibly likely to be AI. So you know exactly how important this conversation needs to be. Joining me in studio to tell us more are Gabriel, the NNCSC lead on marketing from the NUST Department of Informatics and Operations, manager as well, and the NNCSC lead on marketing, Rachel. So it's Rachel and G today joining me in studio. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
Let's dive into it. Just tell us more about the Namibia National Cyber Pre-Competition 2023 and what it entails.
So the competition as a whole is split into 2 days. Day one is the pre-competition that you rightfully referred to, which is, Rachel, I think it's possibly, we should actually classify this also as part of the pre-competition, right?
Yeah, I mean, we started at 6 a.m., so this should be part of the pre-competition.
So when you said long day, you meant a long day.
Long day, 6 to 6, yeah.
So the pre-competition is day one. Day two is the main competition, where you have, of course, cyber athletes battling it out there in the cyberspace, protecting their machines from ethical hackers. Not just hackers, but those ones do it with ethics.
Yeah.
So they will not exploit any data that they find there for personal gain or whatever else you might find there. So the competition itself is just really a learning platform, if you think about it, where you have your university students, and then you also have your high school learners. They form teams. They train all year long, and then they come to the competition. Yes, and there are so many different things they do. Like, they need to, of course, defend their systems, their networks. It's a workplace simulation sort of environment. Phones are ringing their customers. You know, that want support. Here you see that your web servers are down, the website is down, the mail is compromised. You know, all of that. So that's what they're.
It's actually pretty fun. He said phones are ringing. It's a mimic of a real life scenario. So it's kind of like a practical experience on steroids compacted into 1.5 days. And there is the human aspect that comes in, because I'm going to call and nag them to death while he's trying to hack them. So it's actually pretty fun.
Now let's get into the theme, cybersecurity in the era of AI. Why this theme in particular?
I think Rachel always explains it really so much more better. I'm a techie, so
in layman's terms, AI, like you said, is everywhere now, and we are so scared of what we don't know, and because 90% of us don't understand AI, we're scared of it. But what we're saying is, whether we like it or not, these students are going to be out there in the industry, and AI is not going anywhere. So it's a revolution, and it's here, it's happening. What we're saying is, are they equipped? How are they using AI? Because hackers are definitely using it. I mean, nowadays, it doesn't take time to get your password. They can get a generator in seconds while they're asleep, and boom, they have your password. So we are saying we want to churn out students that actually know what to do in the era that we're in.
And like some of the success stories of the previous editions of the event, can you share some of the successes, I guess, from the past?
This is the 9th year. I think that alone is a success. 9 consecutive year, by the way, because we didn't stop even during COVID. So what we're trying to do is, hey guys, this is actually happening. It's 9 years. There have been competitions in South Africa, successful ones. In the US, successful ones. So for me, I think just staying alive for 9 years, 9 consecutive years is a success. And industry leaders, we've got a lot of stakeholders that have that are still taking part. Some new, some old since the beginning, and that's a success.
Yeah, and just to add on to that, perhaps a more practical one that is very close to home. Some of the participants, especially from the very first years, are now executives in IT in our industry here locally, and some have gone out into the international market, and they themselves are doing quite well for themselves. So that in itself, I think, is a big success. Just like to mention a few things.
So what then, or how rather, can the upcoming ethical hackers that hope to be, the success stories of the future, how can they take part? What are the mechanics for them?
So for this year, participation is closed already because planning. But for the coming years, anybody who really is at varsity or in high school, because we do have high school learners participating as competitors, they can go onto our website, www.nncsc.com, and then they can participate. There they can find all the contact details. You can also find information on past competitions, and then they can form a team. If they don't have a trainer or somebody to guide them through on how to prepare for the competition, we are always willing to facilitate the training process for that. So as Rachel rightfully mentioned, it's multi-stakeholder. So we have a lot of big hitters that are always coming on board, and it's always a fun time. So they should definitely come on board.
And where can they go for the contact details, and who do they hit up?
So, well, again, everything is on our website. Or they could contact Professor Atli Gamundani. So I think that's a bit challenging to spell, perhaps, on the email address. So let's just get to the website, and then the contact details are there. So nncsc.com, which stands for Namibia National Cybersecurity Competition. So, it's a mnemonic.
Yeah. Love it. And just lastly, before I let you end this long day of yours, just any advice or any words out there in terms of the theme itself, cybersecurity in the era of AI. I mean, everyone is affected. I've been lied to by AI already, so and already have trust issues. So for those sitting at home, just that have an interest in this era, what words of advice do you have when it comes to cybersecurity, without obviously diving too deep into what the competition's all about? But what advice do you have for someone out there that is interested and scared of this era?
That one password that you use for everything, don't.
You're already dragging me like this.
Don't. We get one password. We have access to everything. Change your passwords. Whether AI or no AI, that's just like the basics of cybersecurity.
Yeah.
And I think also for me, I'll always keep going back. It may seem obvious, but even issues of when you're traveling and you're on holiday, script, I heard you are traveling very soon. Is it the Maldives? I don't know.
Firstly, the bosses must approve the leave, so let's the Maldives.
When you travel, right, stop posting that you're not home. You're telling everybody there's nobody at your house. They can now come and steal, and that is literally from online to the physical world. In addition to the passwords, even your email address. I mean, it's your banking one, it's your Facebook one. Then you see all those nice job postings. And I'm not saying this is what you do, script. I'm just saying, don't post it like, okay, there's an advert. Oh, please send. Here's my email address. And then now you've been also posting about your child, their names, their date of birth, and that's also your password. So these are just some practices that you could really improve on. As for the AI, look, some things such as repetitive tasks, you can automate those. Let AI help you with those, but it doesn't do the critical thinking for you. And that is where you come in.
Sure.
Yeah.
Tips to live by. AI, it's scary. It is a scary era, and cybersecurity, and we hear it all the time. And sometimes it's just until something bad happens. I've had many friends who have their Instagrams hacked, and people are demanding things. And until you get to that point is when you realize, you actually have access to way too much. And we put way too much online half the time as well. But this has been a phenomenal conversation. I can't wait for another successful year of this. where we revisit this conversation and we see a lot more success stories going forward. And we appreciate you taking the time. Thank you so much for coming through.
Thank you for having us. Yeah.
Your Tech Takeover, Your Tech Takeover on 99 FM. Please change those passwords now.
99 FM's Megabyte
was brought to you by Pupkewitz MegaTech, your complete electrical and renewable energy solutions partner.